The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's been a minute, but I'm back. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's up with you, dog?
Man, listen, it's been a minute. Operation Phase 1 of Operation. Get them out the house. It's complete. We got a you know what I'm saying, Jay Sean down in Houston, man. Got him, in his apartment, somewhat set up. He didn't want us to set it up, man. His mama was trying to set it up, get him all nice and hooked up. But he was like, I can do it myself. All right, then. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. So, but nah, he got his stuff pretty much hooked up. Mama ain't crying like I thought she would. She was good, man. I think she had got it all out of her system.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, that's a long ride. I would not be driving to game days. It's definitely a flight time situation.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't blame you. That's a little bit of a hike.
Listen, without stops, it's 11 hours.
Shit.
That's
a full day, like a full day of driving round trip. 24.
I have slightly developed an old man bladder, so
yeah,
that's a 12-hour trip. I'm just cause automatically that's a 13-hour trip. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a flight when we go. What about you, man? How everything been?
So the reason why, as for those of you who don't know, why we haven't really been doing shows is your boy bought a house finally.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate you. And the moving process has been daunting, but it's nearing the end, so got to the point where it's like time to hook up the security system at the crib, right? Cameras and everything, right? You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna say no names, but I ordered some equipment from a reputable well-known one of those do-it-yourself install security system companies.
Okay.
So I hook up the little window sensors and everything, no problem. Motion sensor, no problem, everything. Get to the cameras, and they're like, oh, you gotta charge the battery for 5 hours before you can install this. So I'm like, all right. That pushed me back to the next day. So the next day, I go to install. First two go up, no problem. Boom. Third camera, it don't want to connect. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just move to the indoor camera. Move to the indoor camera. It don't want to connect. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this for the day. I'm gonna just try again tomorrow. Tried again today. Didn't work. I had to end up calling these people. First person I talked to hung up on me. I'm talking about straight hung up on me. So I'm like, all right, that was an accident. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call back. I called back. We started getting somewhere. You know, they're like, "Oh, you got to update your system." Blah blah blah. All this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She hung up on me. So I'm like, bro, all right, I'm gonna try this one more time. So I called the third person. The second person started calling me back. So I told the third person, hold on, talking to the second person again. She tried to help me out a little bit. She ended up hanging up on me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just talk to the third person. Third person ended up trying to help. Second person calling back again, sending the voicemail. Third person finally ended up helping me out. Long story short, one of the cameras defected. They got to send me another damn camera anyway. So I did all that for no damn reason. And they could have just sent me another damn camera to begin with.
That's why they were hanging up on you. They already knew what it was.
Yeah. But look, they had
we got another one.
They had to send me up a level to, you know what I mean, to the top. Like I had to speak to like the manager. I felt like a Karen, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I need to speak to your boss. But he got some stuff done though. So, you know, everything good now. Will be whenever they send me my camera or whatever. But
that's what's
yeah, but I've been I was on the phone with them people for an hour, dog. I was so hot, bro.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
But I ain't gonna say no names, but off air, I will tell you who I do not recommend that you use for your security system.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I got some recommendations on some other stuff myself. Oh, homeowners insurance, bro. You get it, because after that, everything breaks as soon as your warranty is about to be up.
Oh, yeah,
bro. I had a week when we got our house. It was a new bill. Tell me why door handles was coming off, and I, you know, what I'm saying, I felt like Mr. Hand. I was going back. The garbage disposal was getting stopped up. I learned some stuff. Had to get up under there and crank and stuff. Bro, I didn't pull pipes, PVC pipes loose and put them back together. Man, listen, you gotta be damn near Bob the Builder to own a house nowadays.
So do, boy.
They don't build them like they used to. Air conditioning went out.
Not just that, but them handyman don't charge like they used to.
What? Man, listen. I talked to Rev, and I was telling him, I called him. I almost cried calling him, tell him about the problem, like the air conditioning went out.
Yeah. Back in my day, we didn't even have no air conditioning.
And I would say I was so upset because it wasn't so much the part. The part was free. They was gonna put it on for free. No, the doggone Freon.
Oh yeah,
$2,500 for that alone. And Real called me. He's like, "You done jinxed me." He got to get his fit. He was like, "Them more like 14K." I was like, I was like, man, listen, I seen some fans.
He must have
Ice Cube,
a whole new unit.
I don't know what he got to get. He was telling me about it. I felt bad, man. I was like, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm gonna be quiet now. Yeah. I'm tripping, man. I was looking at the screen, it was blurry. I forgot I ain't got my glasses on. So, but yeah, man. But man, let's go ahead and get to it, man. We've been talking for about 10 minutes already. It's just Key in the building. What's good, Key? Appreciate you joining us. But let's go ahead and get to it, man. We get a shout out to our sponsor over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hey, we ain't did this in a minute either. Hey, we want to thank everybody for watching. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. What's good, Key? What's good, Josh? Hope everything well. Josh don't. I think we upset Josh when I was talking about he was doing the cha-cha slide for his birthday. He was doing the micro. Nah, just playing. Josh be here, man. He rock with us. But man, we got to talk, man. LSU baseball. I know we ain't really talked much through the season because the season was wow. They went on a very improbable run during the SEC tourney. I made me a believer again. Not necessarily that they're gonna win it all. I'm not going that far, but I think they can make it to Oklahoma. Make it to Omaha.
Possibly. I think they're gonna have to beat a very good North Carolina team twice. North Carolina is like 38-2, if I'm not mistaken, at home this year. So they ain't no pushover.
Facts.
They're a good team, and I know how Wofford is a good offensive team that's got a pretty good ace, who I'm pretty sure they're gonna pitch against LSU. So you can't play down to your opponent in that game like we've seen LSU do at times this season. You got to go out there and take care of business. So that's why I presume that Jay Johnson is gonna probably pitch jump in that first game versus Wofford. I think he's gonna go with the kind of the same rotation he's been having. You know what I mean? And I think that he's gonna pitch jump in that matchup, and then keep it rolling like you did in the SEC championship with Holman after that, and then go to your bullpen if you make it that far when you need to. And but then the regional is matched up with a pretty subpar regional in my opinion. In the Arizona regional, that's got Dallas Baptist. I can't even remember who the
Arizona. I'm looking at now. Dallas Baptist, Arizona, West Virginia, and Grand Canyon.
It is West Virginia. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I think Dallas Baptist got a good chance of winning that regional. So if you were to go into Chapel Hill and knock off North Carolina, then I think it's a possibility that you could host the Supers if DBU does win that Arizona regional. But you gotta kind of take care of the task at hand and worry about winning 3 games, possibly 4 games this weekend in Chapel Hill.
Yeah. I was looking at this. It's if Arizona pulls it out, LSU pulls it out, Jay Johnson could be going against his former team.
Yep.
Good storyline, great for a movie. Nobody really cares in real life. But man, the SEC tourney. I want to go back to there and then, before we fully jump into the NCAA, the effort we saw, several comebacks. We saw you come back from like 3 or 4 in late innings to win. We saw you come back from 8-0 to win. Yep. And it's funny because those games that we won, you can look at it and say pitching, or whatever. But the game we lost against Tennessee, you literally, it was one hit that beat you, the 3-run homer.
Yep.
Other than that, you held your own against Tennessee for the most part.
You had the bases loaded, and you get picked off at first base, and don't end up with any runs. And so I think that was more situational hitting in that game. That's kind of been the LSU's Achilles heel all season long. Is you get guys on base, but you can't bring them in. I think that's ultimately what reared its head versus a damn good Tennessee team, as we see that they're the number 1 team in the tournament. So that was gonna be a tough task anyway. But when you leave guys on the bases, that makes it even harder. But the SEC tournament run, I think that it was like you said, it was a complete buy-in from everybody, and it was everybody playing up to their potential, and you saw guys doing their job in a sense, and not trying to do too much. You know what I mean? We saw guys come in that hadn't really pitched great at times, you know what I mean, and that pitched their best stuff. Guys Guys who had been in a slump at the plate broke out the slump. You got the young freshmen playing like they've been there before. So I mean,
as Jay Johnson said, Helmer hadn't pitched in like a month.
Yeah. And I mean, you had guys just ultimately stepped up and played out their mind for a week, and that was the culmination of it was a runner up into the conference championship.
Yeah. Oh man. I was at the zoo watching the Saturday it was Saturday, the South Carolina game.
Yeah.
Me and Dylan he'll go look at the animals. He'll be like, Dad, what we looking like? You know, I tell him, he run back over. He started running out looking at the animals and stuff. So speaking of that,
when Milam hit that home run, bro.
Oh, it was man. I know we scared of something. What I don't know what cage was by, but we scared it.
I scared my daughter, bro. Because I yelled at her, "Get out of here, mom!" You know what I'm saying? My daughter walked up in there, Daddy, who are you talking to? I was like, "Oh, my bad, baby." I was like, "It's a long story." She was like, "Who is playing?" I was like, "LSU." She was like, "You always do this whenever LSU playing. I should have known."
Yeah. So it was good, man.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed
to take it from him, man, but that made it even sweeter.
Oh man,
that made it even sweeter, bro.
That was a terrible call. So
I don't even want to get into it because I understand the rule and I understand the interpretation of the rule, but there's no way when you look at that replay, he might have had an inch or two of his foot above the plate, and there's no way that you spot that in real time that fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. So like, I don't want to get into whether or not it was the right call or not. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? Because technically, yes, part of his foot was above the plate, whatever. You know what I mean? But my thing is, ain't no way that umpire saw that in real time.
Yeah. In the great words of the wonderful philosopher, Rasheed Wallace, ball don't lie.
So don't. Miles got that thing up out of here too.
Yeah, astronomically.
After that phony old pitch clock, I can't hear the pitch come. Whatever, man, get out of here, bro. You said there were 2 seconds left on the pitch clock, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. If not, it's a big old sign in front of you. So I ain't gonna. Never mind. Good stuff by Travinsky. But man, I also want to talk about I ain't gonna even talk about softball. I'll say this about softball and move on because I already know what the argument's going to be. So let me say this about softball. Hell of a season for the adversities you went through. You came up a little bit short. You know what I'm saying? Go get them next year. And we can move on.
All I'm gonna say is you got to game 3 of a super regional and you lost by what, 1 run?
Nah, you got blew out. They got blew out in the super regional. I mean, in the final.
Oh, okay, that was game 2. Game 2,
they lost. Game 2, it was
lost by 3.
They lost by 3, but it was 1-0 until
for the most of the game. Yeah, that's what. They got blew out. But yeah, so I mean, you got the game 3 of a super regional with a damn good team, but you ultimately was going up against one of the best pitchers in the country in that last game. So I mean, it's I can't say it's not a successful season whenever you look at the fact that you got
appreciate you, Vaughn.
You got to one of the final 16 teams in the, you know what I mean? I know that ain't what the level that you want to be, you know what I mean? But if LSU women's team made a Sweet 16, nobody would say that that's a failure of a season. You know what I mean? So
yeah. All right, man. I talked about my trip to, you know what I'm saying, to Houston a little bit. On the way back, man, I want to surprise Dylan. Because on the way there, we rode, you know, you ride over the bridge and stuff and look to, you know what I'm saying, look to the left. And he's able to see Tiger Stadium and stuff. So we're coming back. He was asleep. And, you know, I was like, I'm going to change coordinates. I'm going to go by. Everybody was pretty much asleep. I'm saying, I'll drive by Tiger Stadium and wake him up so he can, you know, he can see it up close. But I forgot GPS be kind of loud, and it first went off, and Mama looked at me, was like, "We're an hour away from home." I said, "Nah." She said, "Well, we're an hour away from." I said, "We gotta stop." She's like, "Well, we gotta stop at." I was like, "Just don't worry about it, By that time, Dylan woke up, and we're going over the bridge, and he see, "Oh, okay, Then, and I tell her where we were going. She was like, "Okay." And she was like, "Oh, well, we got time to stop there. We got time to stop." Listen, don't be doing all that. But we, you know what I'm saying? But we went by the stadium, and it was to my surprise, as I pulled up to the stadium, I see pretty much it's probably half the freshman class walking across the street with the lady who replaced Destiny Wilson, the recruiting advisor lady. I can't think of her name. I don't know her name, but I recognize her face. I saw them cross the street, and I was like, "Oh, yo!" And I was looking for our guy Debo. I ain't see him. Saw the rest of the guys, and so we just kept riding to the stadium. I saw Dr. Arnold, man. That dude yoked too. That dude he looked like he your strength and conditioning coach. Where he was walking through there. But man, the guys look good, man. They look good. I already know, so they finna hit this program with Flint.
Yeah.
It's about to be a wrap.
Get that nutrition with Dr. Frakes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was good surreal moment. Go by the stadium, see the Tiger statue and everything, and then then we kept rolling heading home. But man, I was excited for him. Seeing all the videos of the kids, keep saying kids, of the guys arriving on campus.
Yeah.
So see them in the weight room, and stuff like that. It's just, I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't know. I know everybody talks about and is excited. It's crazy because this season hadn't even played. Everybody talks about the 25 class. This 24 class, I think they're gonna do some special too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you got some major players in this class, especially on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah. Right now, coaches are in Destin for their annual, coaches trip. There was a common theme today amongst the coaches. It was about walk-ons. It started with new guy, Elko, Coach Elko at Texas A&M. He talked about, not having walk-ons changes the game of football, college football. I think Kirby came afterwards, kind of repeated sentiments. It wasn't until it got to Clark Lee that I think it kind of really, because he was a former walk-on.
Mm-hmm.
So, want to talk about that, man? Your thoughts on them talking about getting rid of walk-ons?
So I'm kind of torn because we all can name a guy. Maybe it's Josh Williams. You know what I mean? Like we can all name a guy on a team who was a walk-on who became one of our favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
And I can personally, I appreciate those videos whenever the walk-on finally gets his scholarship and they announce it in front of the whole team and everybody goes crazy. Like I'm a sucker for those videos, so I can appreciate the walk-on and what it means to a team.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, in the day and age of NIL, I look at a program like Ole Miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who has maybe, I don't know, 100 players on their roster right now. And if a school, collective, whatever you want to call it, can just pay a kid enough money to where he don't need a scholarship and he can just be a walk-on, then I think that becomes a time where it becomes an unfair competitive advantage. Because then you're going around the rules of roster limits and things like that. You know what I mean? And so I know it had been done in the past with guys that took a blue shirt or whatever it was, where they paid their own way for a semester, then they become a scholarship guy the following semester after somebody graduates and all that kind of stuff. But I think in the day and age of NIL, you got to kind of look at people trying to circumvent roster limits and things like that by just paying a guy and saying, hey, you know, as part of your NIL deal, we'll pay your tuition too. And that way we don't have to use a scholarship on you. And now you got 100 scholarship athletes, but only 85 scholarship players. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it's definitely another side of that walk-on coin that I think is kind of prompting some of these rules that they're trying to do.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that about the NIL and stuff. I have an idea that would kind of, hopefully it could curtail some of this. And it also kind of helps with the recruiting every year. It used to be a 25 player limit. Then it was to,
85.
until you hit your 85 mark. I think we should increase the limit of scholarship players to 100. Increase it to 100. 100 full scholarship players, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know Title IX, you're gonna have to increase somewhere else and stuff like that.
Or just get another sport.
I'm cool with that. Well, I say that until
you make another sport. You make another sport scholarship.
Yeah, make another. Yeah, there you go. So that's, saying 15 more. Then as far as, saying walk-ons, allow walk-ons to consider a walk-on someone with a partial scholarship. That way, and when I say partial scholarship, meaning it may not necessarily fully pay their way, but you pay for their health, their health stuff, and or you can feed them, something like that. Because we know one thing that I can't say I do know, walk-ons, they do take advantage of them in, several, ways. But those are key guys in, practice. They're key guys in like practice. So
let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Now let me say this, but you still limit your walk-ons to like another, 10, 15 guys.
So you increasing your roster limits from basically 85 to 100.
So basically, right? It's the same. It's the same as what you got now. It's the 85 plus 25. I think it's 25 walk-ons you can have or something like that. Or am I making it like that?
I don't know.
So you're keeping that your quote unquote right, but you're allowed, you're increasing the number of actual scholarship players, and you're finding a way to, give your walk-ons some benefits, some player rights, I guess you could say.
I get your point, but hear me out. So you adding 15 scholarship players,
full scholarship. There you go.
Or what is the 133 Division One? I mean FBS programs.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so do the math real quick. 15 times 133. That's almost 2,000 players. All right, so you ultimately at that point kill FCS football.
You think so? Because it's not. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Because I got 15 more scholarships now. So whenever I ultimately couldn't offer this kid, if you were South Alabama, for example, you know what I mean? There's a guy who's a 3-star that if you had 85 scholarships, you wouldn't take.
Yeah.
But now that you got 15 more spots, I'll take him now. And that was the guy that was gonna go to Alabama State. You know what I mean? That was the guy that was gonna go to Sanford. You know what I mean? Like, And so you ultimately gonna kill FCS football if you do that. And
That's
then
true. That's true.
not just that, it's gonna be a trickle down effect. And all the guys who go to the group of 5 now, you know what I mean? Those borderline guys who are, you know, LSU kind of want him, maybe not. He might go to Tulane, he might go to Nichols. I mean, not Nichols, he might go to Lafayette, you know what I mean? Someone like that. Louisiana Tech, you know, Southern Miss or whatever. Well, now all of a sudden he for sure a P5 guy now. You know what I mean? Like your son, for example, you know what I mean? Like he was always G5, and I know ultimately he ended up P5, you know what I mean? But he was G5 for the most part. If his teams with 15 more scholarships, he might would have been in Auburn. You know what I mean? He might would have been somewhere like that. You know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a funny story about Auburn. I'll tell you about that too.
But they got, just because they got more room, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because Auburn offered him a preferred walk-on.
Yeah.
You know, so that which is funny. So,
but if they would have had 15 more scholarships,
they probably would have offered. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But you're absolutely right.
I think the trickle down effect. So, like, that's something that SEC would love to do. Which your thing, they would love to do that because now they finna get all even 15 more of the best players. You know what I mean? For each team. You know what I mean? And so it's like, but I look at it from a holistic viewpoint of college football, and I think that's ultimately detrimental.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to the whole game. And if you were to do another 100, I mean another 15 to get you to 100, do away with walk-ons.
Yeah. I get you. Danny asked, and I think we kind of answered it. She asked, here's my question with the Title IX stuff, knowing there are less female athletes already. Does that mean most female athletes will get a full ride, or does that mean they just get the pay? It have to be scholarship for scholarship.
That's why baseball don't get full scholarships.
Yeah, but I could actually think of a few sports that could be added. Flag football is something that's picking up right now for women. Flag football, have scholarship for that, and it's Olympic, going to the Olympics. So
bowling.
I know we have a basketball team, but 3-on-3 basketball. I don't know if they would do it.
NCAA sanction.
I don't know, but there's something to consider.
I don't know if that's NCAA sanction, but you could always get an equestrian team.
There you go. So, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that, but
yeah, I just feel like 85 is a good number, and I feel like I'm cool with there being walk-ons, but I feel like you gotta prevent people from abusing the system, and at the same time, you gotta like make it to where. So even if it was like, okay, you can have however many walk-ons you can have now, but they can only attend X amount of summer workouts. They can only attend X amount of, you know what I'm saying, mini camp or summer camp. You know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. Because I don't feel like a walk-on should be allowed the same access as a scholarship player.
And that's how it is now. Yeah,
because then it's easier to abuse the system. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's a lot of walk-ons can't get. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Speaking of that, and we talked about this a little bit, it was alluded to. NCAA has ruled you can now pay students athletes.
So my question is, if a school directly pays you, are you an employee?
Sound like it to me.
Or because if you're a lot of these schools, if you're an employee of the school, you're an employee of the state.
Oh, that's true too.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like they're gonna be they're more likely to be contract workers for that university.
1099.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the case, what is that contract going to be binding them to in order to receive that money?
Yeah. If you have noticed, they have not nobody solidified anything yet.
Yep.
It's been ruled, but everything is still. I think it's gonna take a year or two before
I think they're trying to figure out exactly what I
they're
just
trying to yeah. They're trying to figure out, but it's gonna take a year or two. We've already seen or heard them with the for instance, I know one of the first things they're gonna talk about bowls and opt-outs. They're gonna try to put that in there. I didn't put it in the story. I forgot about it till you mentioned it. The Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice Bowl, which is so funny. The Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice Bowl is already one of the first bowls who said they are going to do NIL for all the players that are participating.
Yeah, they got a basketball tournament next year in Vegas that's paying all the players on the teams who participate.
Yeah.
So I mean, we are, but my thing is when you talk about getting paid from the school, how like are you an employee? And because if you're an employee, are you entitled to benefits? Are you entitled to be part of can you unionize at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like at that point can you collectively bargain? Like there's so many different things that come along with being employees that being a contract worker wouldn't allow you to do. So that's why I'm just curious to see the semantics of this deal and how it plays out.
Yeah. I know I'll tell you what else I forgot to put on here. We'll talk about it in a second. Because I think this is gonna play a big part in this too. The Jayden Rashaada lawsuit against Florida with NIL.
But go back to the 20 million though. So
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, that's 20 million per athletic department per university per year.
Mm-hmm.
So being at these universities, athletic departments, well, I don't know if the athletic department is separate from the university, you might can get away with it. Because I don't know if the athletic department will know, because the athletic department still has to abide by Title IX. So yeah, if you abide by Title IX, then the funding has got to be split evenly amongst the men and women's sports. So certain universities have a lot more women's sports because of Title IX. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you're a school who has like 17 sports, you have all these athletes. At what point does it become a recruiting pitch that, hey, if you go there, you're only gonna get this much. If you come here, we got less sports, so you're gonna get, instead of getting 600,000 there, you're gonna come here and get 800,000. You know what I mean, or whatever the case may be.
I also want to see what's the so with that said, how many schools still try to offset with NIL or offset with cost of attendance and stuff like that?
That's definitely happening. I mean, that's definitely gonna happen. But see, this is where if I'm LSU, let's say LSU can offer, like let's say LSU going up against Ole Miss for a kid, right? Bad example because Ole Miss killing it in NIL right now. Say they're going up against Mississippi State for a kid, right?
Okay. Okay.
And Mississippi State can only offer the kid 600 grand. LSU can offer 800 grand, right? Mississippi State, like, we're gonna make it up to you in NIL deals. If I'm LSU, I'm like, so you looking at turning down $600,000 at least, because you're gonna get the 800,000 for 3 years at least. So that's 200,000 a year you turn it down for a possibility to make money at Mississippi State in NIL, when you can take that guaranteed extra money to come to LSU and still have the same possibility of making money in NIL. You see what I'm saying? So like that's even though they're trying to offset it, you gotta throw the pitch of it. This is guaranteed versus that's the possibility, and you gotta offset it over. If you stay 3 years, 4 years, you looking at another 4 years to be another $800,000. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's how much extra you will be making by coming here to verse there for a possibility of NIL versus the same possibility here.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of this could have been avoided. A lot of this could have been avoided. I blame the NCAA because they had plenty of opportunities to take care of this. When the Ed O'Bannon first initiated the lawsuit, this could have been struck down and finished then.
Yeah.
So, Danny says,
I was just throwing numbers out there.
Yeah. So she says, but at 20 mil, let's say you have 500 male athletes. Isn't it only like 20K per year per player? Just wondering where 600, 800K ideas coming from.
I was just throwing numbers out there.
Round numbers just look better, Danny. People understand those a lot better. Damn liberal. Look at her with them coming in with numbers. Damn liberal. What's good, Mel?
I really just didn't feel like doing no math, so I just started saying numbers.
Yeah, throwing numbers out there. I agree, man. It's gonna be interesting. Speaking of numbers, man, this Jayden Rashaada lawsuit.
It's gonna boil down to one thing, man. Was their contract?
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately.
He said, she said.
Yeah, that don't matter.
Is it in writing?
Mm-hmm.
Is it was it a verbal contract? Can it be
is it binding? That's the only thing that matters.
There we go.
Binding. Like if it's binding, it could be crazy precedent set. You know what I mean? If he wins this, it could be crazy precedent set. And if he loses it, it could be crazy precedent. And it could be make it almost impossible for the player to sue for money that they feel like they owe.
No, so I think if he wins, it might be. I think he might be more detrimental on players, because if he wins this, now people who can go back and sue for saying, hey, I offered you this, you didn't do this. Same thing with the kind of Marvin Harrison. I know it's not supposed to be performance based, but if you did not live, for instance, one situation that I always look back on that he kind of got away with, Miles Brennan got NIL money. He got hurt, and then the next year he retired.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. That's
so. Think about it.
I get it, but unless like, what is the NIL deal for? Like, you know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. It's going to depend on.
I say to you, or in this contract says you come to Florida, you getting this much money, versus me saying, hey, you're gonna be pretty good this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay you this much money, and then you don't turn out to be good. I can't sue you for you not being good. You see what I'm saying? Like,
but
I think Peyton Proctor stuff where a kid comes to a school, takes money, then leaves the school without ever playing for a school.
Yeah,
is the kids who gonna be in a problem, or like the Damon Martinez kid at Oregon State who supposedly was offered $400,000 to stay, took the money and ran. You know what I mean? Like those are the type of kids who are going to be possibly have litigation coming their way, not a kid who just didn't live up to what people thought.
Not just that though, but and I say, and he may not be the best example, but for a guy like Miles Brennan, when I say this, it's for your name, image, and likeness. You sign, he did like a commercial. Maybe he did, you know what I'm saying, he get away with because he did, you know what I'm saying, a commercial that aired, continuously aired. But maybe not just that one.
They had his picture on billboards and stuff around the city and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
so it was
stuff involved with that Raising Cane's deal.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, he might not be the best example, but you see what I'm saying. That if saying a case like this does set precedence, but it goes both ways. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm with it's a. I think it's the kids who take money from the school and then transfer from the school before they ever play again. You know what I mean? Like, I think those are the kids who could possibly see litigation coming their way.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be definitely some laws, litigation put in place.
And if that's the case, if that is the case, this Jayden Rashaada deal is funny because
well, go ahead. I think you're going what I think you're going.
Because he took money from the Florida dude to pay off the Miami dude to keep from being sued by the Miami dude, then never went to Florida. You see what I'm saying? So you mad you didn't get all the money you were supposed to get, but you got something from a school without playing them.
Mel, that's a good question. Mel says also what happens to the HBCU guys that move up to FBS for the bag but don't deliver? It gets sketchy as hell.
Yeah, I don't know if you can sue a kid for not delivering though, bro. That's I just don't know like what's the basis.
No, so I don't know if he means like, I wonder if he means don't deliver, meaning like the schools don't deliver.
Oh, now if the school don't deliver, then that gets dicey.
Yeah. Because I'm with you.
You promised a kid $50K to come now, you know what I mean, just to get them and not let them go to a rival school, and then you get there and you're like, oh man, we ain't got it.
Yeah.
But what makes it interesting to me about the school not living up to what they promised was the rumors we heard about Texas A&M from that big major class that they had. Well, players came out and said they never got what they was promised they was gonna get. This go in Rashaada's favor. Does that backfire on Texas A&M? They have to actually ultimately pay up on all the stuff they promised that they supposedly did not pay out.
Yeah. So it's something I've said I hadn't said in a while. The spirit of the spirit of NIL was tainted when they started trying to just pay players to come to the school versus, we use your image on the stadium or on tickets or on the program and we pay you for that.
The NCAA could have avoided all of this.
Bingo.
If they would have just let players get a little bit of money from selling their jerseys, signing autographs, and things like that.
Making public appearances would have been just fine. Now, because what we're talking about and what we're seeing is workarounds to pay for play. But now the NCAA
is trying to get rid of collectives, but all they finna do is add to the collective.
Yeah.
Collective ain't going nowhere, bro.
Yeah. NCAA is a cluster, rolling down the hill, collecting doo-doo on the way.
Man, they are a house of cards, bro.
Oh, don't worry. They got Tommy Tuberville in office. He gonna help save the day with his. That's the only legislation he does. Is NCAA stuff, and it never works. Never. Everything he's ever proposed.
They got a better chance. They got a better chance of Nick Saban going and running for Congress in West Virginia and becoming a congressman and helping pass some shit.
Yep. The NCAA is smoking. They smoking a cigarette, walking up on gasoline. As Andrew says, they constantly adding gas to the fire. Yeah. Dana say NCAA had if NIL had been used correctly and still kept dropping the secret bag separately, it wouldn't have got all the
cattywampus.
Okay, thank you. I ain't been to work in a while, so my Caucasian lingo is a little off. I apologize, Danny. I go back to work tomorrow. I'll be good next show. Cattywampus. There you go.
They do crazy.
Yeah, for real, man. They be. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna get canceled. I'm already toxic, so I'll stop. Let's talk.
I'm about to watch our show, apparently.
They don't care. We would have been Kelsey. The people who do watch this laugh. All right, man. Some that I have thoroughly enjoyed. I appreciate you for encouraging me to get the league pass that I'm actually using this year. I ain't using it last year. I'm using it this year though. WNBA, man, it's been off the chain. So of course I've been following the Sky a lot more. They played the Connecticut Sun last week sometime. And Angel Reese got I don't know if you necessarily call it a welcome to the WNBA moment, but she got
man, she got AT being AT, bro.
Yeah. And
that's
the fun
though, bro. She that's how she play.
But here's the funny thing about it. I didn't hear anybody crying about they hating on Angel Reese. I didn't hear anybody crying about, they only doing her like that because they jealous. I didn't hear anything about look how good she is that they trying to take her out. I ain't hear any of those same sentiments that we've been hearing about Caitlin Clark.
You ain't gonna hear him about it. I mean, in the same sense, you haven't heard anybody come to the and hype up Cameron Brink the way they've talked about
she's been phenomenal.
Yeah, leading the league in blocks. I mean, been incredible. Even her teammate, Rakia Jackson, she's been phenomenal at times. Mm-hmm. And she's leading the WNBA offensive rebounds, leading our rookies in rebounds. You know what I mean? Like this rookie class is amazing, but ain't nobody really even talking about the rest of the rookie class. They just talking about that one golden goose.
Gotcha. My bad. I just read mail. He invited us to the tailgate at if Bama State at Sanford. Listen, Ant, I know how tailgates go in Louisiana. This man, when I went down to the Alabama State Southern game, they had a spread. I still smell the real smoke to this day. It's phenomenal. Mel, I might be in there. I got to check some things out, but I'll let you know. But back to subject at hand. You talked about Cameron Brink. Tell you somebody else who I've enjoyed seeing. The Seattle Storm. Jewel Lloyd, Skylar Diggins,
Aneka,
Agumake. I did it right. I said it right that time. See, I'm learning.
I said Enrique last name.
I said Enrique last name.
I'm telling you to say her last name.
Agumawale.
Okay, I see you, boy.
I'm cold with
my boy.
Yeah, but I have thoroughly. I watched them last night. They played the Sky last night, and I was like, man, it was a good game. And Sky was pulling away. Then Seattle came back, and I was just like, that three-headed monster, nasty.
Man, the Sky are gonna be a good team. I kind of underestimated their guard play, but with Mabry and Dana Evans stepping up a little bit,
I love Mabry. Mabry cold with it.
Mabry cold, but Dana Evans kind of stepped up a little bit this year. Yeah.
Diamond DeShields coming off the bench has been big for him.
That was a good pickup for him too. Yeah, kind of that vet presence. But when they get Cardozo back, I think they're really gonna be something to handle.
I cannot wait for Cardozo to come back because
there ain't gonna be too many teams that can handle them inside. You got a 6'7" girl and then a rebounding presence like Angel Reese. Come on, man.
So here's what I love about when I'm trying to think of the words when the scuffle hop, saying with South Carolina and LSU, everybody, saying hated on them and stuff. Thought they was beefing and all this kind of stuff. Cardozo was ready to go. She was like that. She was basically like, that ain't gonna happen when I get there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be none of that. So I'm just excited to see Cardozo down there with that, that physical presence. Because Angel's been doing most of the banging in the paint, and it's been you could tell it takes a toll on her game, but you've also seen Angel grow a really patient with the offense, because the offense does not run through her like it did at LSU at all. She got her first double last night, and you can really see a difference in her game. She still isn't taking outside shots, but I think once Cardozo gets there, you might see her take a mid-range shot a little bit more often. The offense will be a lot different.
Yeah, I think Coach Gary Reeder said it the best. He had quote tweeted can you still say that, or is it quote X'd?
I was gonna say quote tweeted. I ain't forget.
But anyway, he had quoted it and said, "It ain't about her being able to make these jump shots. It's about programming her mind to take these jump shots." You know what I'm saying? And so I think it'll take some time for her to kind of get that muscle memory down to when you open, pull it, with no hesitation and stuff like that. But I think she'll come along pretty well. I think she's adjusted fine to the WNBA. Like some of the stuff I said was gonna be an issue for her, kind of finishing around some of these women with more size and things like that. But she's still gonna be a presence on the boards, rebounding. She's still gonna get to the free throw line and knock her free throws down. She's still gonna play defense. You know what I mean? Like, it's certain parts of her game that ain't going nowhere. But I think she's just fine.
Yeah. I do want to say major shout out to Teresa Weatherspoon too. Teaspoon doing her thing, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Danny asked, isn't CC leading the NBA in turnovers? Why don't we ever see that stat? And no comments. But yeah, she is. Last I checked, said Paul's says for Caitlin Clark, fatigue will become a real thing, and that's a conversation fans of hers aren't ready for. Yeah. I do want to say this. They talk about that Caitlin Clark. You know who been getting a lot of love lately? Her teammate in her former teammate over there in Los Angeles.
Oh, it's on.
I mean, not in Las Vegas.
Come on, Kate Martin.
Kate Martin been getting a lot of love.
Kate Martin play a role very well for the Aces.
Yes, she do. Yes, you do. And yes, Pausa says Cardozo coming back this Saturday against the Fever. Last I heard, that is true. So,
Cardozo versus Leah Boston.
That's gonna be, yeah. And this is more of a question for you. But Danny asks, is Christy Sides hurting Aaliyah's career, and is she Sides the real problem for the Fever?
I ain't gonna say she hurting Aaliyah's career. I think the problem is she's trying to figure out how to mesh what Kaylin does well with what Aaliyah does well. It's hard to say she's hurting Aaliyah's career whenever Aaliyah was the rookie of the year last year, and was the all-star starter as a rookie. But at the same time, I think whenever you put a player like Caitlin Clark into the lineup, and the player is such a phenom, that you have to at some point kind of concede to build an offense around them in a sense. And by that I mean putting the ball in their hands and playing through them. So she's playing through Caitlin Clark instead of playing through Aaliyah Boston like they did last year. So it's an adjustment for Aaliyah. So she's becoming more of a pick and roller and finishing on the roll than she was a back to the basket player. She's gonna have to do more pick and pop, catch and shoot mid-range jumpers than she has in the past. So I think it's just an adjustment for her to try to figure out how to play with Caitlin. And I don't think Christy Siles is the problem for the Fever. I think the problem for the Fever is that they play some damn good teams. They're a very young team. They play some damn good teams. And when you don't turn the ball over, when you turn the ball over and you don't really have a lot of great defense on the team, then you're not gonna win a lot of games.
Chance Babin says he's had LeBron for fatigue for 15 years. That's called hate. You a hater.
Nah, I mean,
get that about your spirit. No, I'm just kidding. I get it.
If we're gonna keep it a buck,
yeah, I get it. I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying, tongue in cheek. I get it. Let's be I do want to say this. I do think a lot of people in the Jordan LeBron GOAT debate is because of Michael Jordan fatigue as well.
Yeah, and I'm tired of both of them. I'm tired of the debate. I got fatigue of that debate.
I do too. You can appreciate both of them. So, yep. So, let's switch to since you know what I'm saying we do talk Title IX. Let's switch to the men's side. The Celtics. Swept the Pacers. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
They play a healthy team.
That's a good question. They played a team who had several opportunities to win a game or two.
I mean, yeah, not just that, but I mean, then the Halliburton, they was over at Halliburton the last game. I know that was just one game, but like you said, they should have won the first couple games. Jimmy Butler was hurt the first series.
Yeah.
And then who was hurt for Cleveland?
What's Donovan running mate? The dude with the hair.
Darius Garland.
Yeah. No, I think the guy with the afro. When he out, I can't think. I see.
Jared Allen?
Yeah, when Allen out,
somebody was out. I can't remember because I ain't really watched none of them games because they was blowouts. But I mean, it really wasn't compared.
Mitchell. He said Mitchell was hurt.
I thought it was Donovan Mitchell. Honestly,
okay.
I thought it was one of the guards. Because Garland was the only one who was playing, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't think they should have made it. I don't think. I mean, Cleveland played good. They won. I thought Orlando was going to take that series. To be honest with you,
I just feel like Boston kind of they kind of skated a little bit to the finals, man. And they might kind of skate to the ship, depending on who wins in the West. But the Indiana series, I honestly think Indiana should have won game 1.
Think they should have won game 3,
game 2 because of coaching. They should have won game 3 too, honestly. So they should at least had 2 of them 3 games. You know what I mean? Like it should have been still going on, but I guess you give credit to Boston for finding a way to win those games. But when Burton got hurt, I mean, he played hurt most of the series, but once he ultimately couldn't go no more, it was a wrap.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Everybody in the East who has, for the most part, won a series, the other team has had a key player hurt. Except for, I don't know about Orlando. That's the only team I think was actually healthy and lost. Everybody else has played somebody and been hurt, and they got swept up out of there. So, or not swept, but beat. You know. But speaking of sweeping,
no sweep.
T Wolves avoided
for the first.
Put your brooms up.
For the first time ever, I thought we was gonna have 2 sweeps in the conference finals, but we still have yet to have 2 sweeps in the conference finals since the conference finals have moved to a 7-game series.
We had one last year. I thought. I know. Denver.
Boston went down 3-0, then took it to 7 games and got blew out in Game 7 by Miami.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, it was looking like a sweep, but you're right.
But yeah.
So,
but yeah,
give me 1 second.
1958, I think, was the last time that we had 2 sweeps, and that was back when that was like best of 5 or whatever. So it's been a long time. So I don't know. I don't know if Dallas gonna be able to pull it off in Game 5. I think Minnesota going back home gonna be able to pull it back off. I think Minnesota playing at home, role players play better at home. I think that they're gonna win Game 5. Dallas gonna pull it off in Game 6.
They had a similar script to me as like Indiana should have won Game 1, possible Game 2, gave it up late. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Minnesota has been in the lead in every game going, up until to the very end.
Honestly, that Dallas series with Minnesota reminds me of the Lakers series with Denver.
Okay, I see. That's fair.
Couple game winning shots. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really like it really wasn't as lopsided of a series as the 3-1 or 3-0 or whatever said. You know what I mean?
I heard somebody say, and it sounded silly, and it still sounds silly to me, but it's got a little validity to it. Said they feel like Kyrie is reaching his Kobe era. And he was like, because you remember when people saying Kobe couldn't win without Shaq, and then he went and won one without Shaq or whatever, or 1-2 or whatever without Shaq. And
that's man, he doing it as number 2.
Yeah. Here, Kyrie, see the thing about that with Kyrie, he still got another all-star on the team.
But he doing it as a number 2. Kyrie, as great as he is, I think he's like the league's best number 2 of all time. Maybe not the best, but one of the best number 2s of all time.
We ought to do a show on that, or a topic on that, best number 2s all time. Luka called him Robin, and he could do that, but he was like, "Yeah, that's me."
That's what I'm saying. He kind of accepted that he's a 2, and he he's what I'm saying. Like off the top of my head, you got Scott Pippen, ultimate 2. You know what I mean? Like then you got. Do you consider Kareem a 2? That's a good question.
I don't know if I consider Kareem a 2, but I consider what about John Stockton?
If he wasn't a 2, was Magic the 2?
Oh, it's like 1A, 1B. It's hard. I get what you're saying, but yeah.
That's like Kobe Shaq before Kobe Shaq. You know what I mean? Like 1A, 1B ain't really a number 2 in that situation. All right, but yeah, I was like, John Stockton is a good number 2. Never won a title though. You know what I'm saying? But obviously number 2. Joe Dumars, great number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like championship number 2.
Yeah.
Tony Parker, clear number 2. You know what I'm saying? But
so for the 1 or 2 years,
James Worthy was probably a 3.
Yeah. For the 2-3 years that they were together, was Tim Duncan the number 2 with David Robinson?
Nah. Okay. Nah. But you know who was a number 2? Kevin McHale was a number 2 to Larry Bird and was a damn good number 2. So yeah, you got some, but Kyrie right up there in the mix with him. I mean, if he win a title this year, I mean, he up there.
Clay?
But can we talk about? Oh yeah, he up. Clay a good number 2. Clay, yeah, that's a good one. I give you this though, the script writers, they did their thing with this one, because you have Kyrie back with Boston. You have Porzingis back in Dallas.
Is he gonna be healthy enough?
That's a good question. Well, without his rest, he might be though. You know what I'm saying? But then you have Grant Williams at home crying watching both teams. Technically, he would still get a ring if Dallas won. I get that. He was on the team this year. But, you know, he was on the Celtics last year, signed with Dallas in free agency. Then Dallas traded him at the deadline. So both of your two former teams could possibly be playing for the finals, and you at home watching.
Man.
They both got better when they got rid of you. It's tough, bro. That's tough.
That's messed up. Speaking of, and I know Chance said he's got
we don't care.
LeBron fatigue. LeBron a free agent.
We don't care. We knew this already. He had a player option. We knew this already.
He does this every time, but this time is different.
It's not.
With the whole Bronny thing, I thought Bronny, and the deadline is passed to pull your name out the draft, right?
Yeah, it was today. He said he's sticking in the draft, which
yeah.
I think LeBron trying to leverage the Lakers to draft Bronny. I don't think he's going nowhere. Y'all have fun with that.
No comments, man. I think Bronny should go back to school. He should have. I thought he should have gone back to school. One more year.
Went to Duquesne.
Yeah. Go be with Drew. But so speak wild story. Isaiah Thomas was held at gunpoint. Said it was a kid with an AK. Said, but the kid recognized him as, NBA star or NBA player, Isaiah Thomas, and let him kind of let them go or let them whatever. And he feels like he would have lost his life if he had not been recognized. You heard that one yet?
No, but that's weird to me because you would think that he would, if you're trying to rob him at gunpoint, you recognize he a former NBA player. You would feel like that would make you want to rob him even more because you would, you know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't they mean they got more money? Like,
maybe he recognized him as Isaiah Thomas and realized he didn't have money because he wasn't.
I mean, but he got more money than me.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not be LeBron rich, but you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. It's kind of when you first read it to me, I was like, oh dang, he recognized him and wanted to rob him even more. You know what I'm saying? But then like let him go. But that's kind
of no. Let me say this. I'm not sure because I don't know if he still didn't get robbed, but he didn't get shot. Basically, is the
okay. Yeah. Well, I can see that. You know what I mean? I can see that. But yeah, that's weird. That's crazy, man. Dang, that's wild. Having a gunpoint on you ain't fun, but I can't imagine
at all. Man, I do want to say our condolences to the Walton family. Bill Walton, man, wow, man. Kareem number 2. You know, saying from UCLA, followed up. You know, saying Kareem then went on to Portland Trail Blazers.
Won a ring,
yeah. Bill Walton passed away.
Celtics won a ring as a 6th man.
He lost his life after a long battle with cancer.
Isn't it fitting? Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Isn't it fitting though that as the Pac-12 played its last competition as a conference in the Pac-12 tournament, he passed away shortly after. Like as the conference ended, he passed away. As much as he loved that conference, as much as he was the guy who kind of waving the banner for the conference, always talking about the conference of champions, keeping their history alive and all that kind of stuff. As that conference folded, and kind of went by the wayside with their last competition as a conference. He's it's almost like he died of a broken heart almost. You know what I mean? Like he loved that conference so much, and as it came to an end, so did his life. But rest in peace, Bill Walton. He was a basketball great announcer. I mean,
Man, the dude said some wild stuff as an announcer, and it was never.
I used to love watching him announce games because I didn't care who. It could be Washington versus Arizona State. I don't care who playing. Bill Walton up there talking, I'm gonna watch just because you never know. You never know what's gonna come out that dude's mouth, bro.
Yeah,
Talking
him
about
and
acid and all kind of stuff, man. Like that dude, wow, bro.
Oh man. Another sports figure passed away as well. This was actually a really sad story, and I hate that we even have to talk about it. But Grayson Murray, man, golfer. He was, I forget which the event. I think it was the event that Scott Scheffler got arrested at, wasn't it?
No, it was the one after that.
One after the so it was he was in the event. I think he pulled out like 2 holes short.
He said he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, and they found him I think on saying like that following week. Parent suicide.
Following day.
Okay, yeah. Parent suicide.
Yeah.
So
that's tough, man. He had been battling with sobriety. Then he was coming up on being a year sober. Yeah, he had bowed out of the competition saying he didn't feel good, and they found him the next day, or announced the next day that he had passed away. And then it came out a couple of days ago via his family that he died via suicide. And that's tough, man. Mental health for real, bro. Mental Health Awareness Month. Go get your mental health checked out. Go talk to a therapist. Go find somebody you can talk to. It's all right to be not all right, but it ain't all right to not do nothing about it. So go find somebody to talk to. If you need somebody to talk to, call or text 988 any time of the day. Somebody be there to talk to you. You ain't got to go through life alone. Somebody always there for you.
Yeah. And if you feeling all right, man, reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
And just check on them, see how they doing, man. Tell them you love them. You never know, man, how that affects somebody, man. It's been days I don't always feel my best, and I may call I'll call Rev and just say, man, I love you, and I don't want to just pray for me, or I may call, saying somebody, hell, and I called you, hey, just checking on you, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it might not necessarily be you I'm checking on.
Yeah.
I just, saying me, saying I'm just, reaching out, hear somebody else's voice, man. So
Yep.
Yeah, so but y'all make sure you love on your people. Sticking with golf, Scheffler, Scott Scheffler, charges were dropped.
Yeah. After the video came out and all that, yeah.
Charges were dropped. And the policeman was if I'm not mistaken, he was reprimanded.
Just imagine though, and I'm finna ruffle some fellas, but just imagine if it happened that quickly, like with all the media attention and all that, if the city of Louisville would have acted that quickly over Breonna Taylor.
Yep. That's why people hate her. But Jamel Hill said when she responded, she said, when it first happened, she said, Louisville Police Department overreacts. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yep. Charges were dropped. Very interesting. So, speaking of interesting, Fury-Usyk, the rematch has been set December 21st. I don't even think this is a hot take. Fury in the KO. I'm not Fury. Usyk in the KO.
It was almost a KO this time if it wasn't for the bell.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see that as a hot take.
That's why I said not even a hot take at this point.
I can see that as very likely at this point. I wouldn't be surprised at all by that outcome.
Yeah. Speaking of other combat sports, Lafayette's own Dustin Poirier. That's spell his name wrong in the thing. I probably did. But he takes on Makhachev. I don't know how to pronounce it, dude. He takes him on. Yeah, Makhachev. He takes him on Saturday in the main event.
Oof. He got his hands full with that one. I'll be watching and I'll be hoping he wins, but he got his hands full with that one.
That's that is definitely one of
that man right there, bro.
That's one of them guys with the Khabib type mentalities.
Yep.
Fight styles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta be great, man. Like UFC fighters are so crazy to me, dog. Like you gotta be thrown off to go in there with a dude like that, bro. That's true, Chance. Chance said it's Dustin's time if he's ever gonna get a belt. Last chance. I agree.
Get the belt again. Get it again.
But it's now or never though, man. If he don't
I agree.
If he don't get it now, he ain't getting another shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As we get ready to wrap up, we got a special announcement. We know we've been out for a little bit, different things, life events. Well, y'all finna get a whole lot more of us. Starting in June, starting Sunday, actually, as a matter of fact. We will be previewing the LSU football schedule, but it won't just be us. We're gonna invite guests, the people who are over the team, who cover the teams we're about to play. We'll be talking with them, have them on, give us a breakdown of the school, unfair. I ain't gonna say unfair. A little bit, bias on their side, definitely bias on LSU side. Starting with USC. They'll be on the Believe in USC team will be on with us on Sunday. We got a schedule. I ain't gonna give out the whole schedule. But we got them people. They'll be here with us. So y'all be ready for that, man. Definitely gonna be bringing it to you. Mel, if you still watching, we're gonna be coming back with the HBCU side too, doing the team recaps like we did last year. We'll be starting that on the 13th, though. I think, the 13th, and that starts with Hampton and North Carolina A&T. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, can't wait. Danny said people actually believe in USC. Yeah, I can't wait because I got to talk to him and find out about this story that USC been trying to get out this game.
I believe it.
I want to hear some.
They're going to the Big 10 plus 12-team playoff. I think they're looking at it like they trying to. There ain't no need for that game versus LSU with a 12-team playoff.
Yeah. So, all right. We pretty much at the end of the show. I don't know if anybody want to. We ain't did in a minute. Y'all can give us a call if you want to. Ant, what you got before we get ready to get up out of here? Unless somebody call with something silly. Oh, the number at the bottom of the screen, 225-308-1234. That's got to be one. That's got to be one. Yeah, that's got to be one of the easiest numbers. Yeah. Oh. What else you got before we get up out of here? What we forgot?
Nothing. Paul Skeens did his thing today.
That dude has been amazing since he been in the league.
Oh, snap. how we forget about the Negro League baseball stats being added to MLB?
I'm glad you. Thank you. I saw you was kind of going off a little bit about it.
Yeah, man, my boy Josh Gibson, man, he'd GOAT.
He gonna always get messed
That
over.
man is the GOAT. Not no more. He ain't getting messed over no more. Yeah, he still is in a sense because they ain't counting all his home runs.
Thank
But
you. It was
like
reported.
they said he had a game where he hit 4 for 4 with 4 home runs, and Willie Mays hit a home run in the same game, but they ain't counted because they didn't have the stats for that full game.
It is reported that in one season he hit over 1,000 home runs.
No, he ain't not a no. That's no. He was only credited with 962 for his career.
Hold on, I'm finna pull.
Ain't no way.
Not 1,000. I'm sorry, not 1,000. I could. There was a I'm tripping. There was a stat that he hit over 1,000 in his career, but I think it was a stat he hit over 100 in one season, something like that.
I know that for his career he was credited with 962, but the MLB is only crediting him with 283. But he is the career all-time batting leader at 372, which passes racist Ty Cobb as the career leader. He has the highest single season batting average for 466. He has the best career slugging percentage at .718 and the best OPS at 1.177.
Yeah.
So which passes both Babe Ruth for both of those. So he's the greatest hitter that ever lived, man.
Yeah. Somebody else who was rumored to battle mental health issues. He died at the age of 35. So
That's what they do, man.
Yeah, Mel brought it up, and I know that's another one that rubbed you the wrong way. He said, "I'm just saying, if Satchel Paige was in the MLB in his 20s, some of those MLB legends would never be legends." First of all, shout out to Mobile's very own Satchel Paige, who didn't get a shot till what? He was in his 40s.
Yep, and still went out there dominated at 42. But my thing is, like, some of his stats don't make sense to me because, like, if you look at Baseball Reference, for example, they were saying that he had in one year they gave him 0 wins, 0 losses, but he had 1 shutout and 1 complete game. How the hell you have a complete game shutout but don't get a win?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like, and they said, so I've been doing research and stuff. They said from like the beginning of the Negro Leagues to like the 1930s, it was like all those stats are pretty much accepted. You know what I mean? But then the Great Depression hit, and so the record keeping wasn't as good for the Negro League games. And then after 1948, they don't pretty much take any of them because there wasn't good enough record keeping. But my thing is, to the people saying you gotta wonder what the level of competition was, do y'all realize players like Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Jackie Robinson and all these guys played in both the Negro Leagues and the major leagues? They was average players. Like Jackie Robinson was an average player in the Negro Leagues, then became to the major leagues and was a transcendent talent. How the hell does that happen? Josh Gibson would have been one of the greatest hitters ever, no matter where he would have played. Satchel Paige would have been one of the greatest pitchers to ever live, top 10 major league pitcher of all time, no matter where he would have played at. Cool Papa Bear would have been fast as lightning in the MLB, the Negro Leagues. It don't matter where he played at. I just learned about a dude today named Wilbur Rogan, Bullet Rogan, who had 120 some wins and had like a 300 and some batting average. He was Babe Ruth of the Negro Leagues. He was a hitter and pitcher of the Negro Leagues. Like these guys,
Danny asked, she said, on the question because she didn't know the answer. She said, but the measurements, field distance, and everything were the same in both leagues, right? So they can't argue that, right?
I mean, there's no baseball field. The field was the same. Like the home runs, as far as what's a home run, changes field by field. You know what I'm saying? But the bases was still 90 feet and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But like, there's certain things because they play barnstorming games. There's some of that they count them as exhibitions and don't count them as real games and things like that. So it's ways around it that they kind of try to. I ain't gonna say manipulate the stats, but they try to keep that against them by saying that it wasn't a real game, it was an exhibition game.
Yeah. So it's an honest conversation that we got to have about a lot of stuff in history. Jackie Robinson is one. You mentioned it. Jackie Robinson was an average player in the Negro League.
They picked him for a reason.
The reason they picked him because he was very conservative. He's very conservative, and he had a cool temperament to where he could stand being called out his name. I mean, he was still frustrated, but he could stand, you know what I'm saying, or had the demeanor to hold back, you know. So that's why in the movie 42, they kind of talked about that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Played on that.
For a reason, yeah. But my thing is that the players in the Negro League were only in the Negro League because they couldn't be in the major leagues. It ain't like it was the USFL that we have now, or what is the UFL or whatever it is now, or players who just can't make the NFL are playing in this league. These players would have been in the major leagues if it wasn't for segregation. So,
as a matter of fact, as you talked about the exhibitions, it's a lot of them games they lost.
They used to beat their ass in them exhibition games. So it ain't like these players wouldn't have been in the major leagues. So if anything, if we want to start talking about questioning the skill level that they played against and stuff, can we start questioning the major leagues skill level before the Negro League players got there? Who the hell did Babe Ruth play against?
I do want to say this.
Well, because some of them players that Babe Ruth played against would have not been in the major leagues if Negro League players could have been in there. I guarantee you that.
It might be a reason why Babe Ruth did so well in the major leagues too.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be in the Negro League.
Oh,
the reason why Ty Cobb hated him so much. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I will say this though. I feel like it's some kind of poetic justice that Josh Gibson took Ty Cobb record, man. I feel like that's poetic justice. Yeah. Ty Cobb looking up from hell pissed now.
Yeah. man. I remember. So the only thing that I question about this, it was a couple years ago, and it was deja vu when I saw that they said that, you know, saying Negro League stats would be counted, because it was a couple years ago that this happened.
They announced it. They announced it in 2020, but it took 3 years for them to compile stats and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Because I was like, how?
But it's another thing. There was in the 1960s, Major League Baseball got together and decided what leagues they was gonna accept stats for. So there was like 4 of these little leagues that they like, we're gonna take their stats, and players who play in those leagues stats count toward Major League Baseball stats. The Negro League was not one of those leagues. So the people who mad about Major League Baseball taking Negro League stats, go back into the 60s and be mad that they took those other leagues stats at the same time too. And can we also stop comparing it to the NFL? Might as well take the CFL stats. First of all, last time I checked, the CFL was played in Canada, not America. So you trying to take stats from a different country and compare them to an American league stats.
If they did that, Warren Moon, never mind.
Secondly, the field dimensions in the CFL ain't the same as the field dimensions in the NFL. They have different rules in the CFL that they have in the NFL. Now, you don't want to know what did happen? Whenever the NBA and the ABA merged, they took the ABA stats. They took some of the teams and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a pre-ABA and then there's the ABA after the merger stats. You know what I mean? Like, so leagues have taken stats from other leagues all the time. And if you have a problem with the Major League Baseball taking Negro League stats, I'm looking at you side eye.
Also want to say that I forgot what I was gonna say. That was very good, very elegant. It was something about this, we talked about the stats. It was something to that effect. Dang, that slipped my mind just that fact. Bro, listen. I can't even think what it was now. It was something you just here you go. A lot of the teams, Negro League teams, there's still remnants of them around as your, saying your Birmingham Barons. If I'm not mistaken, Kansas City. Is there Kansas City? I don't know if the Royals was it the Royals that they took.
I don't know, because they used to be the Monarchs.
Yeah,
and then it became the Royals. But man, the Negro League uniforms. Can we talk about that for a second? Them was some of the most clean uniforms. I swear I want a Hartford Grays jersey, dog.
If you remember a couple years ago when LSU played Grambling,
the Black Pelicans was one.
Oh, there you go. When they played, when Grambling played LSU, and they walked, every player had a different Negro League jersey on.
Yeah, yep.
So loved it, man. Loved it. So I used to have I forgot what Negro League jersey I had. I had one. It was dope. When that was been throwbacks was in style early 2000s. So
if I'm not mistaken, I had one too. I had a Satchel Paige jersey. But there used to be a Negro League where I'm from, Monroe. We had a Negro League team, the Monroe Monarchs. They used to be everywhere, man. I'm telling you. Get black kids playing baseball again. Let's make a campaign.
Yeah. I tell you, man, that's like, Dylan plays like there was a team in our league that was like predominantly black. The team was. It just ended up like that because they do random picks. So yeah.
So y'all was a Negro League team.
There was a Negro League team. I think they got put out though. No, I'm just playing. I shouldn't play like that. I'm looking at some of these teams. Atlanta Black. Never mind.
Pittsburgh Crawfords.
I was about to read the names. The first one, the Atlanta Black Crackers, the Baltimore Black Sox, the Baltimore Elite Giants.
I just learned something about the Monroe Monarchs. 1932, the Monarchs won the pennant in the Southern League and played an unofficial Negro League World Series, losing to the declared winner of the Negro National League, the Pittsburgh Crawfords, which included a roster of Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, and Oscar Charleston. Satchel Paige played in Monroe, dog.
Wow.
Look at Chuck. I knew he was going to know.
Yeah, Detroit Stars. That's the jersey I had. The Detroit Stars.
Hall of Famer Willard Brown that played at Casino Park. Yep. Casino Park. Yep. Damn, Satchel Paige played at Monroe. That's crazy.
Yeah. Just Danny said, "I'm about to get in trouble, but y'all can let us have one. I'll be fine with removing us from basketball." Especially from his past LSU. I'll go to timeout now. Oh man.
Oh man. Hey, y'all got a couple sports though, man. You know, y'all got ice hockey and
I don't know if they got hockey now. You know, Tennessee State got a hockey team.
They got hockey, bro. For a little minute. It's gonna be like about 40 years before we come for
hockey. Cornhole, they got cornhole for a minute. I seen some dudes playing that. So that you better hold on right now. So
I think they still got NASCAR. I know we got a Jackie Robinson over there, but I think they still got it for a minute.
Every time Bubba Wallace started driving, he get pulled outside. Every time I look, he in pit row, pulled over. All right, I'm done.
She said y'all even took off. We gave that back.
He didn't claim us.
We did take tennis though. We gonna hold on that.
I think about it. Every time Bubba start driving, you don't see him pulled over in pit row. You don't know the little yellow car with the little light.
He just got to drive for Jordan, huh?
Yeah. All right, man. I'm chill. Y'all fun though.
NASCAR is a sport. An idiot can drive in a circle for 4 hours. Hey, all I'm saying is NASCAR stands for non-athletic sports centered around rednecks. All right.
So, all right. You remember when the show Sports Science?
Mm-hmm.
They was talking about it, like how many calories those drivers burn and stuff.
Yeah, they lose like 10 pounds during a race.
I have never seen a fat NASCAR driver, but it is funny now to think about.
How small you got to be to fit in one of them cars? They go through the window, Pooh. The door don't open.
I know.
You ever try to fit through the car window?
You shaming me? You body shaming?
No, I'm just saying because I ain't tried it.
Are you body?
I haven't tried it, but I would assume that it ain't easy to do.
I had listen. I can't fit through my window, and it's a full window.
I'm just saying you gotta be like 5'7", like you gotta be Johnson size to do that shit, man. Then we'll have better luck in the Indy car. You know what I mean? When we just sit down.
Man, shout out to Lewis Hamilton.
For real. My dude lives in Ferrari. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. I don't think we got nothing else for tonight. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Somebody called. Hold on. Thank you for tuning in to the Golden Boot. It's Pooh. Who am I talking to?
This is Chuck Hunt calling from Monroe, Louisiana.
Chuck, what's good, Chuck? What you got for us tonight?
Oh, just calling you all. We're just talking about the Negro Leagues. It's great that they're adding what they did into the Major League Baseball record books, because it's long overdue. Those guys, I was looking at those guys were great. You know, they want to discredit what they did. I'm like, hey, you can't discredit these men. And I went to the Negro League Baseball Museum back in 2013 in Kansas City. I went there. The reason I was there, I went there for the Grambling and Lincoln University of Missouri football game at Arrowhead Stadium. That was the Missouri Classic. I was up there in 2013 for that, and that's on 18 and Vine Street, and they have a jazz museum that's right there. It's right there in the premises. You had the Negro League Museum, and you had the jazz. You have a jazz museum. They all right there together, because you know in Kansas City, that's where Charlie Parker was from. Bird, that was his hometown. Charlie Parker and Count Basie. They had that jazz part as well. That's what they played. That was a black hub in Kansas City in 18 and Vine Street.
Okay. Chuck, how was the museum? I know it's been 11 years since, but how was the museum though? You know, did you learn a lot? Did you learn a lot?
Yeah. Yes, you did. You learned a lot about Rube Foster, the guy who started the Negro League. They were quite, what happened. I learned about them. They were more educated than those Major League Baseball players. These guys were the ones that played in the league were college professors and many other things there in the community. They did that. They said that was their job. That was their second job as baseball players. They were college educated. And I was looking at them. Yeah, they had a product there. I found it out at the museum. Yeah, some of those guys were they said some of them were college professors and other things as well. They were from all walks of life that played on these teams. Yeah, Yeah, and like talk about Willard Brown. I heard Ant talking about the Monroe Monarchs. They had a park here named Casino Park,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the Monarchs played. It was the minor league team of the Kansas City Monarchs. Yeah, Willard Brown was on that team. Brown's from Shreveport. He's there in Cooperstown in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Home run, Brian.
Yeah, wow. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I know, and I mentioned about Satchel Paige being from Mobile.
He's from Alabama.
Yeah,
you're right.
When I was in fifth,
Aaron's from Mobile.
Yeah. When I was in fifth grade, so that was like 1992, 93. They did a
93. I was in high school then. I came out of high school in 1993.
Golly, they built the Hank Aaron Park. And it sits on Satchel Paige Drive. So I thought that was I always thought that was neat. But yeah. Man, it was a lot of history, man. A lot of history.
Yeah, Willie Mays is from Bessemer, around that area. Is he from around Bessemer, that area?
Yeah, I forget where he's from, but yeah.
He's from, I think, around Birmingham area. I think around Bessemer. I think Willie Mays is from. Yeah.
Ozzie Smith was born in Mobile. People try not to claim it. Say he don't claim
Ozzie Smith. with the Wizard. Yeah, I watched Ozzie Smith play growing up with the Cardinals.
Yeah. So, all right, Chuck, man. What else you got for us tonight? Before we get ready to get up out of here.
It's not much to talk about. I mean, one thing that happened, I know that's for another show. I look at the teams from Louisiana that are going to the NCAA baseball regionals. That says a lot for a state the size of Louisiana. It's the smallest southern state in the country. All those teams going. Then you have two teams out of the same parish, which are Grambling and Louisiana Tech out of Lincoln Parish, and that says a lot about the talent.
Shout out to Grambling. Shout out to Grambling with the way they were able to win it. For those of you who don't know, Grambling was playing Jackson State. They bunted to bring in the time run, and then Jackson State kind of threw the ball away, and the game winning run scored the game winning run. So it was a walk off bunt.
Sure, I watched it live when it happened.
a two RBI walk off bunt. So
yes. And Cameron Buford, you can't leave that young man, and he is something else.
So Dan, you might know this, Chuck. Danny girl chimes in. She says, speaking of which, I saw Tulane and Southeastern, I think, are sharing a plane, or Grambling and Tech sharing too.
That's
She said, or maybe it's Tulane and Nichols, but I doubt. Because
Grambling's going to College Station to play Texas A&M. Yeah.
So that's funny. All right, Chuck.
All right,
man. Appreciate
you calling in.
Phone. Appreciate you calling in.
You two take care. All right.
Oh, Chuck, I always got some good information.
Yes, sir. Chuckopedia.
Where did that come from? All right, man. We got anybody else got anything before we get ready to call it a night? Hey, I discovered something that was really good. You probably gonna look at me crazy. I had a craving for applesauce, for apples, right? Apples, applesauce, just natural. You know what I'm saying? The natural sweetness, right? Put it in the freezer. Now I got apple ice cream.
Applesauce.
Put it in the freezer is apple ice cream.
I don't eat applesauce.
Tell him. Give it to Bam. He'll love it.
I'll do that.
Apple ice cream, I tell you. And it's natural. So, all right, man.
Get a sorbet.
Sorbet. That's exactly what it's like. It's like a sorbet. Exactly what it's like. Where my theme music at before we get up? Make sure I got everything ready for it. All right. We'll be back Sunday. My bad, I was reading. Dana said she got a new recipe that includes applesauce. But yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. We're gonna talk, the ladies in sports, and we'll also start breaking down the schedule. Believe in USC will be joining us. And like that, we out.
This show was presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.